Good morning, Green Math. So today we're talking about what's called equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. So hopefully when you see that word equivalent, you think equal. Right, let's both start with EQU. So equivalent fractions are equal fractions. So let's look here to see what I mean. So if I have pizza and I cut it in half, that would be this one right here, where my finger's pointing, 1/2, right? But let's say I took that slice and I cut it in half this way. Then it would look like this. But if we look, it's the same amount of pizza, right? It's just the size of the pieces that are different, right? This piece is big and these pieces are small. So it's the same amount of pizza. It's just the number of pieces and the size of each piece that's different. So then we could write that as 1/2 is equal to 2/4. Those are equivalent fractions, or they're the same. And I want you to notice something. If we start here with 1/2, all I did was I cut each piece right down the middle in half. So when I used to have 1, I now have 2. And when I used to have 2, I now have 4. So each one I multiplied by 2. I created twice as many. So 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. Because let's remember that 2 over 2 is equal to 1. Right? And anything times 1 stays the same. 5 times 1 is 5. 12 times 1 is 12. 100 times 1 is 100. Okay, and 2 over 2 is just 1. So I can multiply anything I want by 2 over 2 or 4 over 4 or 8 over 8, and it's not going to change what my number is, right? We'll still have the same amount of pizza. It's just that the size of each piece and the number of pieces will change. But my total amount of pizza will stay the same. So there's going to be a couple different ways that we do this. For some of them, I'm just going to give you the shape. And I'll say, tell me how much, write the fraction of how much there is, and tell me an equivalent fraction. And for some, you're going to see it as just a fraction, okay? And my goal for you for today is for you to be able to make equivalent fractions from both. So, let's start with shapes. And you kind of already saw me do one. So let's start right here. We have 1/4, and I say make an equivalent fraction. So all you're going to do is you can cut each piece in half. Now if I cut each piece in half, I will end up with 8 pieces. Okay, and then we just match the shape. So we've got that much shaded there, so I shade that much in there. Okay, even though it's 1 piece there, it's not going to be 1 piece there because the sizes of the pieces are different. Okay, you got to match how much is shaded, so then it's the same amount of pizza. Okay, the other way is just to multiply by a different form of 1. Okay, so 2 over 2, 3 over 3, 4 over 4, 100 over 100. I usually stick with 2 over 2 because that's the easiest for me to add. Okay, you can multiply by 10 over 10. That might be easier, or 5 over 5. But probably stick with the ones that are the easiest, especially for today as we're just starting out. Okay, so let's look at one together. Let's do this one right here in the middle. So first, you would need to tell me what fraction of the circle is shaded. Yep, 1/3. Right, 1 section is shaded, and there are 3 sections in the whole. So we've got 1/3. And then let's remember our 2 ways of doing it. We can either just cut each piece in half. So let's start with that. 1, 2, 3. I cut each piece in half. And now, how many pieces do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is my bottom number, right? I've got 6 parts in the whole, or it's my denominator. Remember, denominator for bottom. And then how many pieces are shaded? There is 1, 2 that are shaded. So 2 over 6. 2 is my numerator, right? Number 1. If you're number 1, you're on top. So we could say that 1/3 is equal to 2 over 6. The other way we could do it is 1/3 and then multiply it by 1. So we start with 1/3 and then we're going to multiply it by 1. And the one that I'm going to choose is 2 over 2. So 2 over 2 is equal to 1, right? Let's draw a picture just so that we can see it. If I have a pizza, I cut it in half, and I have 2 pieces. How much pizza do I have? I have 1 whole piece. So that would be 1. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6, right? We just multiply the top number by the top number and the bottom number by the bottom number. So 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. All right, and that's how it works for every single one. So let's try one on the back now. Let's do 1/5. Okay, so all we need to do is multiply it by 1. So we're going to do times 2 over 2. And so we've got 1/5 times 2 over 2. 1 times 2 is 2. And 5 times 2 is 10. One times 2 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, that's all it is. We could say 1/5 is equal to 2/10. Let's draw a picture to see if that works. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got my box cut into 5 pieces. I'm going to shade one of them in. And then, if I'm multiplying by 2, that means I'm cutting each little section in half. Right? When there were 5, now there should be 10. So I'm going to cut each one in half. And look, I didn't shade anything. Right? There was no more shading that happened. I just drew in the lines. Now I've got 2 that are shaded. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in total. Again, there is no new shading that happened. I was just changing the pieces. Right? I could make another line down the middle. And now I have 4 pieces that are shaded and 20 pieces in all. And all that is I cut it in half again. So that would be times 2 over 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 10 times 2 is 20. Alright. Good luck doing this. Please remember that your next packet gets dropped off tomorrow. I'm going to try to call each of your parents today, or guardians, just to check in, see how this is going. Your next packet is going to look the same, but the one after that might be different. I'm going to check in and see what's working and what's not. Alright? Hope you have a great day. Please, please, please send your completed packets back with me so that I can give you credit for your work. Okay, bye.